In this video, I just put on an iron condor. Actually, it's an iron calendar condor in Facebook. And I want to show you how I did that and kind of the logic behind what I just did. So I'm going to switch over to my demo account to show you how I put on that iron condor. All right. Okay, so this is Facebook, and this is how I was looking at it this morning before I put on my condor. So let's come down here and talk a little bit about what is an iron condor and how I put that on. The first thing is we need to understand what is a calendar condor and why we would put one on. A condor sounds like a very sophisticated option strategy, and especially when you throw in there the calendar condor and say, okay, that gets a little bit more sophisticated. What is it that we're doing here? A condor is actually very easy. It's very simple, all right? And the reason I like calendar condors and condors is because there's very little risk at all when you put those on. In fact, the condor that I put on is for a credit spread. So even if nothing works out, if the trade does not work out, I'll still make like something like $50. All right, so it was a credit condor. So a credit calendar condor. So it starts getting a little bit more sophisticated, but it's not that complex. I don't want to scare you away with all the fancy words because it's really quite simple. Okay, the thing to remember about an iron condor is that it's just a combination of two strangles. That's all an iron condor is. It's just two strangles. Now remember, you can buy or hold a strangle, and you can sell or write a strangle. So when it comes to an iron condor, all we're really doing is buying one strangle and selling another strangle at a different strike price. Now in my example, I actually start off with an iron condor, but then I drag and drop one of my strangles so that the strike prices are right on top of each other. And I do that at the money, which technically speaking is no longer a strangle, right? By doing that, it actually changes my strangle into a straddle. And again, technically speaking, at that point, I'm no longer trading an iron condor, but it changes it into an iron butterfly. I don't want to scare you away with all the crazy terminology, so just hold tight, and I'll show you how simple this really is. Just remember, the most difficult part of trading options is remembering the names of the strategies. Again, this sounds more complicated than it is. It will make more sense once you see me actually put the strategy on. So here's the concept. What's the concept here? With our iron condor, we're going to pay for one strangle by selling or writing a second strangle. That's really all there is to it. If the sale of the first strangle pays more than the cost of the second strangle, this would be a credit condor. If the sale of the first strangle does not pay for the cost of the second strangle, this would be a debit condor. If the expiration dates of the two strangles are not the same, this would be an iron calendar condor. So it sounds more complicated than it really is. It's not that complicated. All we're really doing is buying one and selling the other. And with the one that we sell, we should collect enough or close to enough premium to pay for the strangle that we're going to buy. Now, one of the major downsides of this strategy is commissions and fees. Because this strategy entails 4 different option purchases, it can get very expensive, and you really have to take your commissions and fees into consideration. But fortunately, in this example, we're trading with track and trade live stocks, and we have no commissions, which makes trading like this much easier, especially for small account sizes. So let's go ahead and put one on. It'll be a little bit more clear once we put it on, all right, once we go and do one. So first of all, we could go in and leg into these very easily, but Track and Trade has the ability to come in and has these little presets in here. So if we type in multi-leg options, we can come in and we come down. I can just type in iron condor. Now I'm going to put in iron condor, and you can see it drops all of the orders on the screen for me. And I'm going to come down to a shorter term time frame chart. Let's open up a 30-minute chart or even a 15-minute chart and look at this from a little bit closer time frame. Yeah, this is good. We can do this here. So we got it on a 15-minute chart. And you can see I've got my different orders out here. And this is my condor. And you can see how we've got this in here. Now, the way I want to do it is I want to bring these together. This is what I did in my real money account is I brought these two to the exact same price, the exact same strike price. So we're going to drop those right on top of each other. Now, in Track and Trade, we do on-screen visual representation of the options, and so it's really easy to figure this out. The problem is when you're doing a straddle, the text just ends up being on top of itself. That's no big deal. We just come down here to the orders and you can see them listed down here. So you don't really have to pay attention as closely to the text that's on the screen. It's a little bit more convenient, but you can see it down here in the accounting window. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at these things. You see, first of all, I'm going to leave them apart just so we can read the text and as we set this up. But we're going to come in here and you can see my control panel right here where I put on this iron condor from the template. And it just fills all this stuff in for you, and you just have to go through and make it the way you want it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to come out here, and I put mine at 25 days. Now, I have a calendar condor. Now remember, a calendar condor only means, the only difference is that the straddle and the strangle are at different dates. And the reason I did them at different dates is because I was able to, with the premium I was collecting from the straddle that I was selling, I could pay for a more expensive strangle with more time. So that's why it became a calendar condor. So let's come in here and set that up. So the first thing I did is I come in here, and these are 25 days. I like to have anytime I sell an option, I like to have it within that 30-day time frame because that's when time decay moves the most quickly and gives me the money faster. I like to get money faster. So we're going to come in here 25 days, and this one here we're going to do 25 days as well. So we've taken the straddle, which is the two center ones. That's these two red ones in here. You see that we're selling. We're going to sell a call, and we're going to sell a put. And you can see that set right here, sell to open, sell to open. So those are our two center ones. All right. And we got, currently they're at 180 and 177. That's just so we can see the text. But we're going to come in here and we've got 25 days left. So I'm going to come out here. And because when we come down here and we look at the options chains, we can see that the cost of these things are about $540 a piece. Now I'm going to come down and say both. So you can actually see the one that we're going to, the call that we're buying is $540, but the put that we're buying is $552. So that's going to give us a little over $1,000, almost $1,100 to play with, right? So we can spend $1,100 buying other options, buying call options. And so this is the really cool thing about it. Strangles are really nice strategies on their own. Straddles are really nice strategies on their own. But if we sell a straddle, collect the premium, we can now buy a strangle. That's really cool. All right, so let's come in here. And as we do this, we're going to come down through this, make sure we've got these set up right. Now, the reason that I'm doing a longer time frame, a calendar condor, is because the 25 days are expensive enough that I can buy a little bit more premium with the out to 32 days. It gives me a little bit more time on my options that I'm buying. So I'm going to come out here and put this out to 32. And you can go and take a look at some of these things and see what the different prices are. So now what we're doing is we're coming down here and we're saying, okay, if I'm getting $500 for the call that I'm buying, where can I look at that? There's a call that's got more time in it, 32 days, for only one strike or two strikes away from the money for $487. Well, let's buy that. That's pretty cool, right? Let's buy that call. And what about going the other direction? I'm going to get about $550 for the put that I'm selling. I can buy a put with 32 days left to go for $512. So this is going to be a credit spread, meaning I'm going to collect more money from the straddle that I'm selling to pay for the strangle that's got more time in it. So the strangle is less expensive to buy, even with more time, than the straddle that I'm selling. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's come in here. So we got 32 days to go on the outside call, which is this one. We got 25 days on the inside call, which we're selling and collecting premium to pay for that one. Okay, now remember at this point we have to bring these in closer because we want these to be right on top of each other. And we only had them separated like that so we could see the text. But now we brought them on top of each other. The text is on top of each other. And again, remember, you can look down in the accounting window to see the details. But we want to bring this one down. We want it to be 2 strikes out of the money. We want this one to be 2 strikes out of the money. And we're just going to go ahead and hit place order. And now that we place the order, that'll go ahead and fill those orders and we'll be in the market. We can come out here to our daily chart and we can see it on our screen from a daily standpoint. If you like this video, please visit my website at www.tradementors.com. And don't forget, if you're watching this video on YouTube, please click the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click the little bell button so you can be notified of my next video as well.